Did that fix my mic input? Thank you very little, vMix. Let's try that one again. Good morning, everybody. Freaking vMix. That sucked. That's what I get. That's, you know what? That is karma for me making fun of Jeff for coming on the stream and having his mic fail. That's it. That's karma. That's exactly what that is. Well, looks like I'm going to be doing some vMix troubleshooting this weekend. Apparently, I messed up my mic inputs. Whoopsie. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the October 8th, 2020 episode of Tea with a Hacker. Cheers. Good morning to everybody. As you know, this is our Tea with a Hacker episode. I have found a new love. Don't tell Carmen. I have found a new love. Everybody knows that I love tea. I don't love it as much as I love root. But I do love some tea. I found this stuff. This is that reishi tea that I've had before, spicy masala tea, but this is different. This is different, right? This isn't tea bags. This is loose tea in a bag that you put into one of those little dippers, and you put into the tea, and you let it steep for about 5 minutes, and you get some nice steeping fresh tea in our black hat mug. So that's what we're drinking this morning with Tea with a Hacker. No root. I'm gonna be messaging my contact today and being like, are you mad at me? Like, I'm fiending. I'm gonna start opening the stream like this. Day 147 and no root. I've started to feel the symptoms in my anxiety without the root. Please send help. No root. Still working on the root. They're apparently still out of stock. My name, as always, is Neil Bridges, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to all of our new joiners, as well as our regular visitors, especially those from across the globe. Awesome thing to see in chat. Every single time I log into chat and I see all these people from South Africa and India and the UK and Australia, I love it. I absolutely love it. This is our short format, so I will run through my introduction super fast. This is our morning AMA chill stream. Super awesome surprise for everybody this morning on this morning's AMA chill stream. I'm going to stream for longer than expected. I'm going to go ahead and announce that I'm going to stream longer than I usually do. So we'll probably stretch this stream out for a little while longer. Here's the key. As long as chat is hyped, we're hype on the stream. At least until I get a call from my boss and tells me I actually need to get to work. So there's that. We do have moderators in chat. I want to personally thank all of my moderators each and every stream for their dedication. Moderators are here to keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have zero tolerance for toxicity on this stream. Punishment for toxicity is swift and decisive by my mods. However, mods are not here to stifle chat whatsoever. Mods are here to make sure that your voice gets heard. That is exactly why we have chat, or that's exactly why we have moderators, is to make sure that your voice gets heard. With that being said, I'll be answering questions on stream. Listen, somebody already started asking. Look at that, I didn't even have my question queue up, right? When can you start asking questions? Can you start asking them early? You could ask them literally at any time. We encourage question asking throughout the stream. What happens is that we grab up all these little questions, we throw them into a queue, and then one of my moderators puts them into a queue, and then I push a magic button, and it poofs up on screen, just like this. And then I read it, and I go, that's an awesome question. Let me get an answer to that. That is how easy it is to get those questions answered. They are the prime value that comes with this stream being live, and so we do ask that you ask your questions today live on stream. Ask them about any topic, whether it's something cybersecurity related. If you want to talk about how I'm whooping B-Sec's tail on this competition, book is off limits, any I&E question, literally anything. We could talk about anything and I'll answer it. Lord knows we've had some weird conversations on this stream, already. So there's definitely no off limits area that we got here. We do have 2 giveaways to give on stream. I have some hype news. that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about mature conversation. So I do have some topics to talk about, which is why this is going to be a little bit longer than usual, but I do want to talk about just a handful of things. Let's see here. Where do we start? Oh, serious hype hands. Let's do INE secrets first. Okay? Subram, ask your question only once. That'll be the only warning you get before one of the mods sees you and starts coming after you. Only ask your question once. You don't need to ask it twice. Let's start with some INE secrets this morning. Everybody look around. Them real quick. Everybody see if they've seen CyberBeardSec inside of chat. Has anybody seen CyberBeardSec inside of chat? Is he here? Is Beardson around? Is Brian the Beardson around? I think I saw him earlier. There he is. He's not there. Everybody put your hype hands together for CyberBeardSec, also known as Brian the Beardson inside of Discord. I am excited to announce our new cybersecurity instructor at INE. Brian the Beardson has gone through the interview process. One of your peers from your community. He's got a ton of experience in the cybersecurity space. He's recently been leading a ton of cybersecurity efforts at his current location. And I'm super excited that he has taken up the challenge of being a cybersecurity instructor and is willing to do it with the team here at INE. And so I am super, super excited to welcome Brian to the awesome team that Jack and Chris and Jason and Josh are building out over there on the INE side. And so, Brian, congratulations on making your way through the gauntlet. I'm super proud of you, sir. So that's some INE. That's a few INE secrets this morning. So we'll kind of drop that one in there. To kind of start off with. Make sure you give those hype hands to BeardSec. CyberSec Geek, thank you so much for joining up as a member. I appreciate it. For those who are wondering, as always, I get a ton of questions inside of my DMs about mentorship and about career advice and things like that. Head on over to the membership section of YouTube. You can find that we've created some valuable membership tiers that do allow you to get some additional one-on-one time with me or some resume review stuff that is going on. Speaking of resume reviews, if you do look over on the live section on YouTube, you can see that we did add in our October resume review. Okay, we did add in our October resume review. If you missed it, you can go watch September's resume review. You can kind of see what that's about over there. That gives you basically a whole month. Look at September's resume review. Look at what we did. Put in your resume in the channel in Discord. That way we can start picking those up for the October resume review. All right. Let's talk super briefly about mature conversations, because I'm super, super proud to be able to say that this happened. Wow, that's a little bit of whiteout going on there. I wonder if I got the blinds open today, trying to get a little natural light in so I don't turn into a zombie too much, but I may have to close the blinds here. Okay, let's bring it up something. I want to talk about mature conversations here real quick. This is what I'm super, super excited about. Super excited about from a conversation perspective, right? All right, good, that worked. So, yesterday, I was sitting on the couch before I was trying to decide how bad I was going to run and whoop BSEC's tail yesterday for my morning run. And I scrolled through my LinkedIn feed, and I came across this post. And I read the post, and I was like, huh, you know me, I'm always trying to out there finding new opportunities for you all from a community perspective. And I came across this post and I was like, huh, this sounds pretty interesting. Let's follow this breadcrumb trail and let's see where it goes. And lo and behold, I was taken to a website and ultimately to a plans and purchases page, whereby I was immediately disgusted. you know, by what I saw here. I made a post on it, warning. I made a post here, but a post on Twitter, and you can see that we had quite a lot of views, tons of comments, lots of people. If you go through, you can read this entire conversation. The point of the matter is, and this is what I'm super proud of. And for those of you who have watched the stream for a year, known that we've had our share of trying to bring people on to have mature conversations or real conversations with real people. We know that we've not always been successful with having those real conversations. I encourage everybody to take a minute to go read this conversation right here. It's at the very top. It's listed as most relevant, but it is the conversation between David Lee, who is one of the co-founders of this particular organization, and myself, as we go through and basically talk through the back and forth on why his site and why this program was messaged incorrectly. He reached out to me, and last night we had about an hour-ish or so long conversation regarding the way that his service and his messaging was framed and was kind of put out there in the ether. And one of the things that I'm super happy about, right, is this comment right here, right? Showing how a civil discourse should be. We need more of this these days. This is what we're all about here on the stream, is having real conversations with real people about the state of cybersecurity. Right? I applaud David and I applaud his co-founder for reaching out to me, recognizing and listening to the community that the way that they had done things may not have been in the best interest of the community, even though their heart was in the right place. I want to give them a huge amount of props for that. We had a good long conversation last night. I'm not going to retract my statement just yet because I'm waiting to see a V2, but I have offered myself to be on their advisory kind of committee to make sure that their messaging is appropriate, you know, and just make sure that that is, you know, that is in the best interest of the community. And so if that were to happen, if that were to change, then I promise you that you'll get an update right here from this channel. But I want to show you that this is exactly the type of influence that we want to have, right? We see something that doesn't work in the industry. We speak out about something that doesn't work in the industry. We come together as a team, as a cybersecurity team, as an industry, and we try to fix things so that we can indeed make the industry better. And that is exactly what we were all about. So I want to say huge props to David and the team for working to make this industry better. All right, the next thing. I heard Josh Mason already dropped a little bit of this on Jerry's stream the other day. I just found out about it yesterday in a completely different conversation. And so if I just found out about it yesterday and it's still pretty new to me, I want to share, because if I don't know, there's got to be somebody else out there that doesn't know either. I found this website yesterday and I could not believe the quality of free training that this website has and how it is delivered. If you are not familiar with this site, this is Exercisem. It is a programming website and it is completely and totally for free. But here's what hit close to home. And those of you who have followed me for a while and kind of understand my mentality when it comes to career paths and having a path for your learning and having a path for your education, as I was perusing through this website, let's say we go down here to Python and you come over here and you explore the concepts over here on the Python track. Look at this journey through Python. Mind blown. I love this visualization right here. I love this visualization. This is a way that you can work through everything from the basics all the way down through to all the things that you need to do to learn Python. And it is like this for every one of the programming languages that they have on the site. And so, like, for those of you who have asked me about best places to learn programming, which programming languages should you learn, right? Things like this. I am now a fan of this site. This is added to one of Neil's top 10 sites that he would recommend. I love this site so much that I will actually probably stream some of the content from this site because I think it's so well done. So exercise them. Huge fan of this. Definitely encourage people that if you're trying to learn programming in the cybersecurity space, hop on over to this exercise them site, get signed up. It is free. It is totally for free. These guys are a nonprofit, meaning they don't make money, right, off of they don't make money off of your subscriptions, right? They rely on donations. They rely on other organizations to support them and things like that. They rely on mentors. They rely on community support. And so find ways to support them. At them on social media. Tell them you saw them on the cyber insecurity stream. Let them know that they've got support from the community like this. But this is an awesome resource that I think everybody should start taking advantage of. Cool. I think those were the big things that I wanted to kind of talk about this morning. Cool. All right. Thank you, Beardsack, for dropping that link into chat, because I'm terrible like that. But but anyway, let's head over to some questions. Let's answer some questions. Love me some questions. Nom nom. Answered that one already. Since you were so excited, let's do this one. Here we go. Neil, I'm changing careers. I have little IT experience. Could posting Try Hack Me badges and certificates on LinkedIn help me or hurt me? I've seen the practice being criticized. Don't let criticism affect your ability to be awesome. Don't let criticism affect your ability to be awesome, right? I absolutely am a huge fan and think that you absolutely should be posting every single one of your Try Hack Me badges and every single one of your LinkedIn achievements on LinkedIn. And I think people who criticize you, they definitely don't understand the value of hacking the system. Listen, when we talk about some of this, stuff, right? You know, we're talking about people who are criticizing you because they think that it's lame. But you got to remember, you're not on LinkedIn to impress them. You're on LinkedIn to find a job. You're on LinkedIn to impress recruiters. You're on LinkedIn to get your career elevated to the next level. And so you're not trying to impress your fellow cybersecurity folks. Your Try Hack Me badges aren't there to impress your fellow cybersecurity folks. Your Try Hack Me badges, your LinkedIn badges, they're there to impress recruiters. They're there to impress hiring managers, right? And so those are the things that you need to be thinking about, is who is your target audience when you're going out there and putting that stuff on LinkedIn. Is what does that mean, right? Just because I saw this one from It's O, and I'll follow up with this one, really quick as well, right? When you post those badges, include things that you've learned, things like things that you faced as a hard time, stuff like that. This is where the write-ups come into play, right? And I want to give a huge shout out to Braden, to Stuns and Roses, if he's in chat listening to me. If you're not following my dude Stuns, go over to his YouTube page, go watch his videos. When you watch how this guy has started from, the very beginnings of his cybersec journey, and he's out there learning on Try Hack Me, creating write-ups on his blog, creating videos on YouTube for Try Hack Me rooms, doing cheat sheets for, the commands that he's learning. That is how you take the Try Hack Me badges that you're putting on LinkedIn. That's how you turn it into your portfolio. And remember, you should be thinking about things like this as part of your portfolio for impressing hiring managers and recruiters on LinkedIn. And so forget those people who are like, oh, that's lame, don't put your Try Hack Me stuff up on there. Those aren't the people you're trying to impress. You're trying to impress the recruiters and the hiring managers. Okay? So keep that in mind. I just saw him in chat. Man, glad to see you followed us over here on YouTube. My man, Cyber Roflo, been with us since the very beginning. I've so enjoyed and excited for watching your journey on LinkedIn. I love telling this story about Cyber Roflo, right? Because this is why it's important. I have over 30,000 connections on LinkedIn, and they grow by the hundreds every day, right? My LinkedIn feed is filled with stuff. Do you know the stuff that bubbles up to the top is the stuff of the frequent posters who post quality content that I engage with? And Cyber Roflo has been a person that, while he may not be very vocal in chat, he may not be very vocal in Discord, I don't discount him for, I see his post every single time on LinkedIn because his content is engaging. He makes relevant posts and he brings that stuff to light. And so that's why it's important for you to be, when we talk about being active on LinkedIn, when we do our LinkedIn critiques and we focus in on that activity section and we talk about commenting on LinkedIn, we talk about commenting on people's posts, we talk about posting original content, that's how folks like myself, folks whose feed is filled up with a whole bunch of stuff, that's how that stuff bubbles up to the top. That's how that stuff bubbles up to the top. That's why we tell you all to do it. Right? That's why we tell you to do it. There are no dumb questions. I just saw this. There are no dumb questions. I was always waiting for you on Twitch. I had no idea you made the switch. Well, that's because you missed the Twitch episode. That rhymes, by the way. You missed the Twitch episode where we announced we were moving to YouTube. Yes, as of October 1st, there is no more Twitch. I promise I had nothing to do with the data leak. I promise I had nothing to do with that data leak, okay? Somebody did actually reach out to me on text message and be like, ex-NSA hacker leaves Twitch and data gets linked. Seems sus. I promise it wasn't me. I promise it wasn't me. Promise it was not me. But we are over here on YouTube full time now, and I do appreciate everybody with that. Question, what skills would you say are a must-have for an aspiring CISO, and what would be the best path to landing this role? Sugar Skull Life, thank you so much for the super chat. I'll answer that question from that super chat right after I answer this question from Le Grande Sleepy. The number one skill, actually it's tied. There's two skills that are tied for number one. There's two skills that are tied for number one. Ready for it? Cyber secrets. The two skills that are tied for number one that you must learn to be a good CISO. Learn the business and then learn how to talk to the business. That's it. If you can learn to understand the business, you understand what helps the business, what hurts the business, understand how the business works, understand things like that, that will move you so much further to being an effective CISO than being technical. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that there is no place in cybersecurity for a technical CISO. I truly do believe that there is a place in cybersecurity for a technical CISO. I still very much believe that I will be one of those technical CISOs. Like, I have a hard time, like, not being that. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to speak business and you have to be able to talk to the business. And so your communication skills have to be top notch. You have to listen. Most of you aren't going to like this, but you got to learn how to write a report. You got to learn how to write a report, right? And so you got to learn how to have those communication skills. This is why we harp on those soft skills here on the stream. And so I think if you're looking for two things to focus on, learn how to read your company's 10K. If you're here in the US, for a publicly traded company, they have to release a 10K whenever they go public, right? And that 10K talks about, what the business focus are, what's the business drivers, what are some of the competition, what are they worried about, right? Things like that. I have found that the best way to have a conversation with a CIO or a CISO, a CIO, a CFO, or a CEO is if you can speak to them about what is on their 10K, what their business metrics are, and how your cybersecurity initiatives align to their business metrics. You want to talk about getting that CFO in your back pocket? That is how you get a CFO in your back pocket, is being able to speak to them at that level. So that's my tip and trick for that one. We did get a super chat question come in from Sugar Skull Life. That is a great way to get a priority question in. If you do the super chat like what Sugar Skull Life is, you can get a priority question in that way. Will INE make a cloud pen test path, or is it just very similar to the web app pen test path? Here's what I'll tell you. We are releasing more and more cloud courses. We've moved towards a model where we're doing drip content, right? If you actually are on the platform, if you're a premium subscriber to the INE platform, you'll see content being dropped every month, including cloud content, including cloud pen testing content, right? That is because if you look, we're trying to move towards a model where you can get more content, you can get it more reliably, and you get it in a more timely fashion, right? You don't have to wait. Typical development lifecycle for INE, formerly, or the former eLearn Security, was you'd have to wait 6 or 9 months for an entire certificate package to drop, and it would drop in your lap, right? And so you're left wondering, like, when am I going to get something new, right? And so what I would say is we're changing that by saying you can get on the platform now. You can get cloud pen testing content now. Will it be an entire path like you're used to seeing right now? No, but what you're watching is you're watching the path get built out, right? Just like if you're on there now watching our incident handling and response in the cloud, you'll see that we've done an Azure incident handling response. We've done a AWS incident handling and response. That is part of the redo of the incident handling and response career path to make it incident handling and response in the cloud. And so that's how you need to shift your mindset, is that content exists on the platform, and you will continue to see that content drop, and you will continue to see us innovate in that space, and you can get that content right now on the platform. So you can go get it right now. Hopefully that answers your question. Sugar Skull Life, thank you so much for the super chat as well. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's do this one. How do we get started in cybersecurity? I already know we got to learn coding language, but what about hardware that we need, certs we need? Do we join Try Hackman? This is this is a question I get asked so very much, right? And there's, what I would say is that we've got tons of videos on the YouTube channel for this, right? And so I'll boil it down to you to just a handful of checklist items, right? Just a handful of checklist items that you can go do. First and foremost, right? And this is going to surprise you. What do you want to do to get started in cybersecurity? Take my 1,000 Connect Challenge. There will be a video. This is why it's important to pay attention to the notifications and make sure that you're paying attention to the video drops. There will be a video before the weekend is out detailing the 1,000 Connect Challenge, right? A dedicated video, not just a snippet from a live stream. It'll be a dedicated video. But basically, go make 1,000 meaningful connections in cybersecurity, right? Either for companies you want to work for, people you want to work with, or people that you admire in this industry. Meaningful connections. So that is step one if you want to get started in cybersecurity. I know that floors a lot of people, but just like we talked about learning the business, you need to learn how to network. And most of you fail. Most of you fail at networking. And I'm not talking about packets and ones and zeros. Most of you fail at interacting with your fellow cybersecurity people. And so we need to fix that. And so you need to fix that by taking the 1,000 Connect Challenge. Now, the next thing that you need to do to get started in cybersecurity is you got to get your hands on the keyboard, right? Neil's creeper meme, get your hands on the keyboard, right? And how do you do that? You leverage Capture the Flags. You leverage Try Hackme's. You leverage Hack the Box. On the blue team side, cyberdefenders.org, Blue Team Labs Online. When I see questions like, what hardware do we need? Please, dear Mother of God, please do not go buy hardware. You don't need hardware right now. With the prevalence of online labs, you do not need to buy hardware right now. So don't do it. And this is a cop-out excuse. Henry, real conversations with real people. Henry, that is a cop-out excuse. Everybody, there are 144 people in this chat right now. There are 3,500 people in our Discord that will connect with you today. This right here, people, this is imposter syndrome. Hit exclamation point imposter in chat. Watch my imposter syndrome video. It'll take you 20 minutes out of your day. Easiest 20 minutes that you can get. This is imposter syndrome right here. There are thousands of people that will connect with you today because you're a newbie. Don't succumb to imposter syndrome. You can connect with me and I'll connect with you. I don't care where you are in your journey. Okay? Networking is important. And if you understood the importance of networking, you would find ways to overcome your imposter syndrome and you would be better at networking. I promise you that will be a life-changing move for your career, is to do that. What do you think about the Cyber W5 courses? I know nothing about them. I'd have to research them. I know nothing about them. Tips for finding a cyber mentor because I need help. If you go watch our video with Joel, it's Cyber Truth Bombs. It's one of our more popular videos. It's Cyber Truth Bomb. It's an interview that I did with Joel Fulton, right? Who's the former CISO of Splunk, of these guys up here, right? He talks about mentorship, right? And this is another one of those things. Let's have a real conversation let's have real conversations here really quick, right? Right? There are tons of places out there where you can go get mentorship, right? Battleship Security, if you hit exclamation point Battleship in chat, you'll get a discount code for Battleship Security. You know, Battleship Security, Cyber Mentor Dojo. You know, we've got a basic mentorship package on our membership tiers. Finding a cyber mentor is hard because of a couple of different things, right? The amount of chat messages that I get, amount of DMs that I get that say, hey, Neil, will you be my mentor? Is unreal. This is the reason why I added membership tiers to YouTube, is so that if people were serious about being a mentee of mine, they can go to my YouTube page and they could find a mentee package that helps them, right? But there are people out there that don't understand that it is a relationship between a mentor and a mentee, meaning that you, as a mentee, you want your mentor to give you something, but what have you offered to the mentor? Let's think about that for a second. What have you offered to a mentor? And if you go look at my interview with Caitlin O'Connie, which is on the YouTube channel, if you go look at my Cyber Truth Bombs with Joel Fulton, which is on the channel, right? If you go listen to any time we've ever talked about mentorship, the problem is that most of you think mentorship is a one-way street, that I have to mentor you and I get nothing in return for it other than the gratitude of mentoring somebody else. And when you look at everybody out there in the industry who gets mentorship, who understands mentorship, they realize that mentorship is a two-way street. So when you talk about how do you find a cyber mentor, most people genuinely do want to mentor other people. They really do. I want to mentor people. I have 3 interns that I mentor on a weekly basis. I mentor people in subchat almost every other night in subchat. You can come here to the stream. This is mentorship. This is mentorship. We're mentoring. Look at this as group mentorship. You're getting group mentorship every time you show up to a stream, right? You're getting your questions asked on stream. That's exactly what mentorship is. What you're asking for is, Neil, how do I get on your calendar? How do I get some one-on-one time with you, right? When you ask that question for a mentor, you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared to give something back. What does this look like? What does this look like, right? What does it look like to give something back? This is where most of your message, they're like, Neil, I don't know anything about cybersecurity. What am I supposed to do to give back? I don't know. I've got pages that could use some moderation. I've got a Discord chat that could use some conversation. There are definitely some write-ups out there that need to be written, right? You need to think outside the box on what it is that you offer to somebody that you want to mentor them. And this is, listen, you will have much more success. You will have so much more success, right? You will have so much more success when you come to a mentor and you say, hey, Joel, hey, Neil, hey, BSEC, right? Hey, Chris, I want you to be my mentor. In exchange for you giving me an hour of your time every month, I'd like to volunteer this for you. Try that tactic and see how many people will respond to you over your mentorship. Instead of just sliding into people's DMs and being like, Neil, will you be my mentor? Right? Try to differentiate yourself. Because listen, and let's be real about this, right? Most of you over there are like, screw this guy. Like, I'm a badass. You should want to mentor me. Yep, I should. But I've got time. I've got 24 hours in a day. And I got 24 hours worth of commitments that I got to do every day. And I got to divvy out those time commitments the best way that I can, which is why I do a live stream so I can mentor everybody via a live stream. If you want a slice of that time, I need to know that there's return on investment for that time. And if you don't like that thought process, you're not ready to be in cybersecurity. Let me say that now. If you're not willing to understand return on investment for the amount of time it takes, for the amount of return that it comes from the person that you're asking for, you're not ready to ask an IT team to fix a vulnerability. You're not ready to tell a CISO or a CIO that they're ready to implement MFA. You're not ready to tell a CFO that you need a $15 million budget so you can do EDR. If you can't talk in terms of business and ROI, if you can't talk in terms of business and ROI, even when you're talking about mentorship, you're not ready to be in cybersecurity. It is not all about hacking on the keyboard. It is not all about reverse engineering malware. Small soapbox for those who want to drop said soapbox in chat. Yes, thank you very much, Weird Fang, for this. Please stop asking the same question. You will get banned. Look, we don't need you here asking the same question 50 times. You will get banned. You will get banned. Only ask your question once. I literally have 2 pages worth of questions up over here, right? We are going through and answering questions as fast as we can. That's why we're doing longer streams than usual. Don't ask your question more than once. I promise you we're getting to them. As a fresher, for those who don't know, a fresher here in the States, I think I've seen this term mostly, overseas in Asia Pac and things like that. A fresher is a college uni, somebody who's in school, still things like that. I want to start a career in blue teaming. Thank you very much for joining the blue team. The Try Hack Me Cyber Defense Path helps to learn basics of blue team. Are there any free platforms to learn about blue team? I would say Blue Team Labs Online is huge. I love Blue Team Labs Online. Okay. I love Security Blue Team, although Security Blue Team is okay. Cyberdefenders.org is a third one. Those 3, I think, are hands down the greatest places where you can go get dedicated online lab blue team experience. Right there, those 3. Thank you very much for joining the blue team. We need way more blue teamers out there. How to build a good regular expression for multiple malicious user agents. Go Google that one. I don't know. I can't. I don't have an answer for you on stream, right? I got no problem. Push that question. I got no problem saying I can't give you that answer right here on stream. That's probably one that you should probably go Google. What are new materials for cybersecurity coming for INE? We're in the middle of a PTS rework, so pen testing student. We're in the midst of that. That doesn't mean don't take the PTS right now. It's still for free on the platform. Go take it. It's still for free. You should go take it right now. It's still for free for right now, right? You should go take it because it's free for now. so I would say like PTS is in the middle of a rework. We're in the midst of converting all of the old eLearn security stuff away from its slide-based mentality over to the INE model of a video-based hands-on training. And so what I would say is that what you're going to see is you're going to see, starting with PTS, you're going to see a ton of course updates. And when I say course updates, we're bringing it relevant. We're making it relevant to what's being seen out there in the pen testing space right now. We're adding more and more hands-on labs. I'm looking at my calendar. In 12 days, anywhere between 7 to 12. I heard from some lawyers yesterday that I might be able to announce it in 7 days. Either on, I'll promise you this, there will either be a groundbreaking INE announcement on the 13th or the 20th. Either on the 13th or the 20th. An acquisition that I've been working on for months is months. And when I say months, I'm talking about probably one of the longest acquisitions I've ever worked on. I'll be able to announce it on the 13th or the 20th. And it is literally going to revolutionize our lab platform. Okay. It is going to be massive. It is going to be huge. And that's why we are on the precipice of dominating this space when it comes to this material. And so like the labs that we are adding to literally everything, including cloud, including networking, including, data science, including development, are going to be massive in the future. Right. And so like, there's a lot of stuff that's coming, with that. This is one of those times where I really, really, really wish I could tell you, but this is part of those cyber secrets that legally I can't say just yet. Not a question as such, but similarly thrilled to share that I finally started in my first InfoSec role as a cybersecurity engineer in several weeks' time. Same org of 10 years. Huge thank you to all. Thank you, Shirewark, for sharing that with us. We truly do appreciate it, and congratulations on your first InfoSec role. As a reminder, if you tag me in these on Twitter, you tag me in these on LinkedIn, you drop them into chat, we will do our best to get these posted up and share in your success with you, because we believe in sharing in your success as you do it as well. Any updates on the status of the Azure and AWS exam results? Not yet. They're still being reviewed. So again, transparency, and this is one of the advantages that you get for having the Chief Content Officer of INE, at your disposal, right? The average pass rate, hopefully everybody's sitting down for this. Anybody who took the Azure exam, the Azure Fundamentals exam, the average pass rate for the Azure Fundamentals exam was under 50%. It was under 50%. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, right? Because there's always a question for that, right? What does it mean? Was the content too hard? Did we not translate the content good enough in the course over into the exam? Did we word the questions inappropriately? Did we make it too hard? Right? These are the things that when we get those exam results, this is why this is a beta, right? Can you imagine if we told you that you failed in a beta? This is exactly why this is a beta. And so, what I would say is that the reason you're not getting your exam results is because we're looking at this. Courtney Moore, thank you so much for joining up as a member. I really do truly appreciate your support of the channel. Cheers to you this morning, Courtney. Appreciate all the support over there on those folks as well. So what happens is we do the beta. You all take the course. You all take the content. You all take the certification, right? And then we take those results back and we look at those results and we see this type of trend and we go, okay, what happened? Was this the expected result? I could definitely tell you that this was not the expected result. We did not expect this many people, to fail the exam. And so this is what we're looking at. Here's what I'll tell you. If we messed up, then the beta will continue, and this is why you're participating in the beta, is so that we can then ask you again, like, hey, we need you to take the exam again because we've made changes to it, and we need you to look at it again, right? That's the process that we're going through as part of this beta. And so don't look at the exam results as, it's bad that you haven't got them or that we're lazy. We literally have, somebody who's got a PhD in instructional design who is literally helping us design this process so that we can make sure that we are statistically accurate, that it meets our quality standards for how we do certifications in the industry. And it makes sure that when you get a certification from INE, right, it's got a stamp of approval that says, like, you know what the heck it is that you're talking about. And we're putting really real dollars behind making sure that you get that level of assurance when you slap that certification on your resume. And so, I appreciate that question, very much so. And I'm happy to talk about that beta process for anybody who is curious on that beta process. BSEC with a follow-on to that one. Is there any feedback from anyone that took the test, or have you not gotten that far with it yet? I have not seen the feedback from the 2 AWS and Azure fundamentals yet. I personally have not. I'm sure the team has it, but just from where I sit, I haven't personally seen that feedback yet. Here's what I'll promise you all. By next Friday's Tea with a Hacker, make sure you tune in next Friday's Tea with a Hacker. I'll aggregate the feedback that I'm getting, or that we're seeing as a company, and I will bring it to this stream next Friday. You have my word on that one. Just because I saw this one, Tom Pike, you're absolutely right. That is low for fundamentals, and that is why the team is taking a bit of time to go through that and make sure that we've got the right stuff on there. Just because I saw this feedback, DevNull Zen, thank you so much. The Azure test was rough. That's the one that we saw the lowest success rate on, and that's why we're looking at it. So, DevNull Zen, more props out to DevNull Zen. DevNull Zen is one of our he's signed up on the Cyber Mentorship membership package, and we have been reviewing his resume every month, and it's so amazing to watch him grow and watch him progress in his career. And cheers to you, DevNull Zen. I'm super excited every time I hear about another success story that you have. You're awesome. You're awesome. All right. This is a good one. Do I need to learn blue team skills before pen testing? I think it's important. Do you need to? No, I don't think you need to. I didn't know crap about blue team when I started pen testing. But when I learned blue team after I started pen testing, I was like, God, I wish I'd known this before I started pen testing. And so I think that, do you need to? No. But I think it definitely helps, and I think it's definitely important. I would highly encourage you to learn blue teaming. And that's why I think, like, when you look at your studies, right? Let's talk about studying for just a second, right? It is important to be well-rounded. It is important to be well-rounded. And what I mean by well-rounded is, right, everybody wants to run out there and they want to learn how to do remote exploitation. They want to learn how to do, exploit development. They want to learn how to do cross-site scripting, right? They want to learn all that stuff because that's the stuff that we've glamorized and seen on TV. But that's not the stuff that helps organizations. What helps organizations is the ability to be able to actually defend themselves, right? You have to look at your incident response team. You have to look at the blue team, right? They are the cyber defenders. They are the cyber warfighters that sit on the front lines day in and day out defending an organization, right? And so if you look at them like that, that's why it's important for those cyber defenders for you to understand what it is that they see on a day-to-day basis. That way you as a pen tester understand how. And I don't mean how do you use Nmap how. I mean, how does an attacker attack an organization? Because you'll quickly find that throwing, Nmap around like it's a brand new drink at a cocktail party isn't how hackers hack into networks, right? And remember, as a pen tester, you're supposed to be thinking and executing like a hacker, right? And so when you start to sit on the blue side, you start to sit in that cyber defense role, and you start to see how organizations get hacked day in and day out, you'll probably quickly realize that how you've been taught or how you're thinking about pen testing is vastly, vastly wrong. Vastly wrong. Okay? And then you'll have a vastly different experience on how you should be conducting pen tests. How can I start cloud pen testing? I have 2 years working experience as an AWS administrator. It would be great if you would share some learning resources and certifications. Thanks, Catherine. Awesome work of spending 2 years as an AWS administrator. John Helmus has a fantastic book out there on pen testing in the cloud. I would highly recommend go taking John Helmus's book. I'll ask one of the mods to go find John Helmus's book on Amazon. That would be one of the few resources that are in print that I think that you can go do. INE is starting to produce some content. We've got pen testing for Azure that's out there right now on the platform. I know that we've done some boot camps for pen testing for Azure that's out there now. And then there's mostly just videos out there on YouTube that you can go watch. There isn't a whole lot of consolidated training out there. You didn't miss it. You didn't miss that stream. That's actually going to be on David's channel. David's going to drop that video, so I imagine it's going through David's very, very rigorous editing process. He's got a team over there that supports him, and so it is coming. It is definitely coming. I promise you that. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. We bought a company a couple years ago called Remoter. That's where all of our data science content is at right now, is from that acquisition that we made years ago. And there is everything in there that you need to be a junior data scientist. Absolutely. 100%. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going through the questions, looking for ones to push. I want to level up in my org from service desk to security. We are in a Windows environment. Seems like understanding group policy and Cisco ICE would be a good place to start. Would you agree? I don't think that that's a terrible idea. I think that you should understand those, anyway. I think, honestly, and again, unpopular opinion, if you want to go from service desk to security in your organization, you want to know the secret to doing that? Hold on. I'm about to blow your mind right here. You want to know the secret to going from help desk to cybersecurity in your organization? Go make friends with the cybersecurity organization. Go make friends with the cybersecurity organization. That's it, right? That's honestly like what it boils down to. Right? Is go make friends in the cybersecurity organization. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again, right? There was one of the Fortune 100 companies that I worked at, right? I was building a pen testing team from scratch, right? Which is always very, very hard. But before I started to build a pen testing team, I knew I had to get the organization used to the idea of security. And so one of the things that I did when I first went into this organization, is I did what was known as a roadshow, right? Where I took my cybersecurity message and I went to the different divisions all across the company. I traveled, to 50 different, office locations and talked about how awesome cybersecurity was and why it's everybody's responsibility inside the organization. I went to one of our facilities in Columbus, Ohio, and I was giving a presentation in a room, pretty broad, and I had a laptop. I had one of my MacBooks up there, and I had a cover on the front of it. It had like Hack 5 stickers, and it had all these hacker stickers from DEF CON and things like that on there. And one of the guys came up to me afterwards, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your laptop, and I hear what you're talking about with cybersecurity. Is there any chance that you're going to be building a pen testing team?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I plan on building a pen testing team as we get this moved out." He's like, "I've been in desktop engineering, right, the entire time I've been at this company. I started at help desk. I went to desktop engineering. I'm doing like SMS, SCCM, type of work out there." He said, "I do this stuff in my free time. I've got a home lab. this is obviously back when we had home lab stuff there. I do the home lab stuff. I practice a lot of stuff. I do a ton of reading. Here are the resources that I do. Hey, listen, I'd like to set up some regular one-on-ones with you and talk to you about some of the stuff that's happening in cybersecurity. And if you build out a pen testing team, I'd really love an opportunity to come work for you. That's what he did. He did that sight unseen. I'd never met the kid before in my life, but that was our very first interaction. I kid you not, a year and a half later, when I finally got the funding approved to start a pen testing team, do you want to know who my first call was? It wasn't to the leadest hacker out there in the world. It wasn't to somebody who had built a pen testing team out there already for another organization. You want to know who my first phone call was? It was to this guy. My first phone call for the very first pen testing role that I hired for that organization was to this guy. And so if you want to know the secret to getting out of your help desk job and into the security at your organization, that's step one right there. That is step one. Promise you that one. Promise you that one. It's not about the technicalities. It's not about the technicalities, right? Safe. This isn't Safe. I've known Safe as well. I brought Safe into that organization as well. I'm glad to see the content that he's producing out. Thank you so very much, Safe, for tuning into chat. Glad to see you're doing awesome. You know the person I'm talking about. You helped creating one of the best red teamers. You know why? Because we gave somebody a shot. Because we taught them. We took somebody who had fire in the belly. I did if anybody saw the US Cyber Games on Tuesday, the draft day on Tuesday that we've been hyping up, the commissioner for the US Cyber Games, Jessica, she asked me what was the number one trait that I look for when building high-performing teams. The number one trait that I look for when building high-performing teams, that fire in that belly, that passion, right? When I look for building high-performing teams, that's what I look for, is I look for that passion, right? And so, thank you very much for that compliment, Safe. I'm glad to know that he's doing awesome. I miss chatting with him, but I know his life's pretty busy. So, glad to see he's still doing awesome over there. How to get rid of this procrastination, John De La Cruz? Just wait a little while. It'll go away. No, in all seriousness, you just got to sit down and do it. You just gotta you gotta push through that one as well. So just one question in this stream, right? No, you can ask as many questions as you want. Just we ask you to ask them only once, right? You can ask as many as you want, as long as chat is staying hyped, and as long as my boss doesn't call me and tell me that I got to get to work. I'll stick around for a little while longer and answer some questions. Typically, we'd end about now. Chat's doing really good. Lots of good questions coming in. As long as we continue to see some hype in chat, we'll continue to answer some questions. I got 3 pages worth of questions, so I'm trying to move through them as quickly as possible. Safe, I love this. My interview with Neil for that position was the hardest in my life, but that job helped me grow with such a great team. Thank you, Neil. You crushed it, Safe. You crushed that interview. You crushed that interview. You did a good job, right? Glad to see that you're doing awesome. Pritam, sorry, I mispronounced your name. Pritam, thank you so very much for joining up as a member of the team. Thank you so much. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. We're 2 away from 100. We're 2. Here's what I'll do. Hold on. Let me check the goodie bag. Let me check the goodie bag. There might be some goodies that I can give away. If we get to 100, we'll do an unannounced giveaway. Hold on. Checking the goodie bag. We may do an unannounced giveaway. I'm trying to decide if 100 is worthy of an INE premium pass, or if I should push it to 110 for an INE premium pass. I got an INE premium pass I could give away. Ooh. The struggles are real. We'll go to the questions. We'll see how chat goes. The struggle is real, though. Sugar Skull Life with the membership. Thank you so very much. I'm very new to LinkedIn and cybersecurity. I have a little job. I have a little job history posted. that have nothing to do with cybersecurity. Would I do better to remove these and have no job history listed at all? Joseph, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of removing your past work history, right? Because what you're saying is I didn't learn anything valuable in those past companies. KR Gardner pushing us over to 100. Okay, all right. You win. You win. We'll do a third giveaway for today. We will do a third giveaway for today for pushing us over 100. I'll set a milestone. I'll set a milestone since I'm in a good mood. If we make it to 125, we'll drop an INE premium. If we make it to 125, we'll drop an INE premium. So we're going to do 3 giveaways today as a result of everybody pushing us over the edge. If we make it to 125 during this stream, we'll do an INE premium. Joseph, thank you so very much for becoming a member. Reginald, thank you so very much for becoming a member. Do truly appreciate it as well. One of the things that I would encourage you highly to do, right, when you're looking at your past job experience, is to really evaluate what you learned from it. And I'll give you an example. I'm going to pick on a member from your community who is part of the basic membership program, and I have reviewed his resume several times. I'm not going to tell his name. He can disclose himself if he wants to, but he works as DK. Thanks so very much for becoming a member as well. For upgrading. Thank you, DK, for upgrading to mentorship. Thank you so very much. Make sure, DK, you get your resume into the Discord channel so you can get your October personalized resume review. He worked as a shop clerk. He's still working as a shop clerk, right? For a convenience store, trying to break into cybersecurity. And one of the things that we're working with him on, right, is to turn that experience of handling money, to turn that experience of being on the security, physical security side of what it is that he does at work, right? The loss prevention. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. The loss prevention side of what it is that he does at work. How do we turn those skills? Into something that look good on a resume? And so, no, I'm not a fan of you removing this whatsoever. What I'm a fan of is that you find a way to figure out what it was that you learned, and that's what you put on your LinkedIn. That's what I think that you do, is you find different ways that, because again, remember, hacking is about thinking outside the box, right? When we all talk about hacking, right? We all love to talk about hacking, right? The things we talk about with hacking, Safe, thank you so much. I appreciate the support, Safe. Thank you. It's so good to see you doing awesome, especially on the content creation. Make sure you go follow my dude Safe's YouTube channel if you're not already, right? We're huge fans of thinking outside the box. And so what I would encourage all of you to do when you're with this question right here is think outside the box and think about what it is that you actually learned or the value that you provided to that organization. And that's what I would put on your resume. That's what I would put on your LinkedIn. I would also encourage you to go check out the series that we have, the playlist that we have on YouTube, the Ultimate Career Hacking playlist that's on YouTube. And it goes through that branding and it goes through that type of stuff that we talk about so that you can understand how to convert non-cyber skills into things that make you relevant in this space. Now, this isn't just for the shop clerks or the people who are transitioning in. If you're transitioning military, if you came from infantry, if you came from EOD, explosive ordnance disposal, right? If you came from things like that, that is also how you take those skills and you make them relevant on your resume and your LinkedIn. Right? So that's how I would encourage you to think about that when you're thinking about how to make that out there. I think this is a dumb question. There are no dumb questions here, Praven, but how to stop procrastinating and gaining the hacker mindset. The hacker mindset is just that, right? It's a mindset. You have to have it. Solve puzzles, right? This is why I tell you, right? So I'll use my gym analogy, right? Most of you, you guys have seen my fitness stuff. You guys are aware of the competition, you know, that BSEC and I are on to try to better ourselves and to try to be more fit and things like that, right? I didn't just wake up one day and run 3.5 miles. Cyber Ray, thank you so much for becoming a member. Do truly appreciate you supporting the stream. I didn't just wake up one day and start running 3.5 miles, right? I had to get my mind right. Maybe BSEC did. BSEC may have woken up one day and decided that he was just going to like run 3.5 miles. Maybe that was BSEC's magic power, but it wasn't mine, right? I had to get my mind right, right? I had to stop being lazy. I had to realize that diet was 80% of it, not going to the gym wasn't 80% of it. It was the diet that was 80% of it, right? I had to realize that, I can only push myself so far before I have to take recovery. I have to build up to running to 1.5 miles. I have to start by walking, and then I have to start by pacing myself, right? It's a journey, right? So you want to know what the key is to the hacker mindset? Listen, cyber secrets right here. You want to know what the key is to gaining the hacker mindset? Begin the journey. Start today with your journey. You're here in this chat. You're listening to this content. I saw Cyber Ray just say, you've been lurking for a while. Great content. That's a start to the procrastination. Thank you so much for starting your journey with us by becoming a member. Thank you, Cynthia, for starting your journey today by becoming a member. Thank you for starting your journey by showing up in chat. Your next step of your journey is to stop listening to my words and start putting them into practice. Let me say that again. The next step of your journey, is to take the words that I'm saying and putting them into practice. Go to ctftime.org. One of my mods can post that. Go to ctftime.org. Start signing up for Capture the Flags. Defeat your imposter syndrome by going to sign up for Capture the Flags. Go to these Try Hack Me's. Like, start with Try Hack Me where it's got free content. Go to Range Force where they've got free content. Start with the free stuff. Start your journey, right? If you want to change the procrastination, if you want to get into the mindset, start your journey. That's the biggest thing that I can tell you to do as well. Ricardo says, hey, Neil, I read an article from 2019 that you wrote about how toxic the cyber field is. God, that was a long time ago. I remember that article. What is your current up-to-date take on it, and what can someone do to help out with being inclusive? This is a fantastic question. Thank you so very much for this one, Ricardo. Hussein, thank you so very much for becoming a member. I do appreciate your membership as well. I did write an article. You can actually go see this article on LinkedIn. What had happened, I think at the time, if I recall this article correctly, they had just canceled DerbyCon because of some drama that had happened in InfoSec, right? And I was pretty upset about it, right? Because this had just come on the heels of some other drama that had happened, around Black Hat and DEF CON as well, right? And so I wrote about toxicity, and I wrote about the Try Hack Me mentality and how I think the Try Hack Me mentality in 2019 contributed to this. And if you want a hot take on it, go read Dev Null Zen's article that I think is titled Try Smarter. Dev Null Zen just wrote his updated take on this after hearing me talk about it. And so I'd highly encourage you to go read Dev Null Zen's article, right? My updated take is we have not gotten any better. In a nutshell, in a bluff, right? Bottom line up front, we have not gotten any better. I don't think we have gotten any better, right? We've not gotten any better about it, right? And so I think, that's my hot take on it. If I were to write about it now, it's hard for me. This is a hard conversation for me, right? This is a hard conversation for me. I want us to be better, but we need more voices. We need more positive voices. We need more people speaking up. We need more people saying that they're not going to be underrepresented. Jim, thank you so very much for becoming a member. I do truly appreciate it. Like, if you want to help this problem, then go create content. Let's go create content together. Let's go make positive content. Let's talk about how you don't have to be an elitist to be a pen tester, right? Let's talk about how you don't have to have a CVE next to your name to be relevant in this industry. Let's lift up underrepresented and minority people inside of cybersecurity, right? If you want to help out with being inclusive, produce content. Produce content. I will support you. This community will support you. If it's good content, we will all support you and we will all help you. That, my friends, is how we make the industry better for everybody and more inclusive. Pink Plays, thank you so much, very much for becoming a member. I do truly appreciate it. We may actually hit that 125 marker. Wow. I love to see people talking about this, and I'm glad that we're bringing it up. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer more and more questions about that on stream. I'm going to mispronounce your name. Yuvaj, thank you so much for the question. What is the top cybersecurity concern our businesses face today? I love these existential questions. Thank you so very much for this. God, my brain all of a sudden went, oh, Neil, let me tell you the 1,000 things that I want to say. That's literally where my brain went just now. It wanted to vomit like 900 things, going on here. We fail to communicate the business impact of cybersecurity still. We fail to communicate the impact of cybersecurity still. The business doesn't get it. And I know that seems weird, right? There are problems. Like, look, MFA is a problem, right? Secure coding is a problem, right? Unpatched systems are a problem. Legacy operating systems are a problem. But those are symptoms of a bigger problem. Ransomware, just because I saw Josh say it, ransomware is a symptom of a bigger problem. The bigger problem is that businesses don't understand the business impact of cybersecurity. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's what I don't think. That's why I think that as well. Hello, my godfather. I have an opportunity impossible for you to pass up. I need a favor. One day, I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to need that favor returned. So if I give you that favor, are you prepared to pay the price? That was my best Al Pacino. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Chris, nobody asked you for your opinion, Chris. Nobody asked you for your opinion. I'm so happy for your fitness. How does Neil study new stuff or retain new information? I just sit down and do it. How do I retain it? I don't really know the answer to that. The buffer is definitely getting free up in my head, and so like I do have to dump some stuff every occasionally. And anybody who tells you that they don't have to dump stuff out is they're lying to yourself. Like you can't, like there's so much to learn in this space, right? You can never learn it all. What I would say is like the struggle becomes in prioritizing your learning, right? Prioritize your learning. Figure out the stuff that you think is what's going to help you move the needle on your career, and that's what I would prioritize from a learning perspective if it were me. Right? Speaking of prioritizing, Predict 21 is happening next week. How important is it to attend cybersecurity conferences, events? Should experiences like this be added onto resumes? I'm a little cynical when it comes to conferences and events, but I'm cynical because of the reasons that people give for wanting to attend conferences and events. If you go look at, I did a past stream, and actually go look at the David interview that I did on Black Hat and DEF CON. That's a hot take, right? That's a hot take. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll tell you. Like, if you want to understand like my take on those events, go watch the video interview that I did with David. Oh my God, the sun's coming up. I'm gonna have to hold on, throw some blinds in. The sun's starting to peek through. Maybe that means I'll get to go golf today. Might be some golf on the horizon. I think people overplay conferences and events. In the sense that they're like, oh, I'm going to learn so much, or I'm going to do so much, or I'm going to network so much, or I'm going to be so much better as a cybersecurity person, right, by going to conferences and events. And I think that that is a fallacy. It's a farce, and you're lying to yourself, right? I very much do believe that, right? I think if you go to security conferences to network, you should have a plan, right? And if you go look, and I talk about this in David's video, where the weeks leading up to Black Hat, I planned my meetings out. I called people, I called friends, I made sure I had events to go to. I spent more time in the weeks leading up to Black Hat planning my Black Hat event than actually doing the Black Hat stuff that I did while I was at Black Hat DEF CON, right? And so that's what I would say is, like, if you're going to use the networking excuse, plan on doing networking, right? So, do I think you should add it to your resume? If you're an active participant in that conference, you speak, you're giving a demonstration, you attended a talk, absolutely, you should include it. Brian, thank you so very much for being a member. I do appreciate your support. I hate seeing this question, but I appreciate it, right? I live somewhere where cybersecurity industry is practically non-existent. How could someone like me try to break into the field, gain experience? Henry, this is where I talk about, we're actually almost halfway there. God, do you guys realize that? Nate J, thank you very much for becoming a member as well. We're halfway. Like, if we get to 125, we're giving away an INE premium subscription. That'd be 4 giveaways that we're going to do here on stream. I should probably get started on that, but we're going to do that. You see me sitting up in my chair. I'm actually like, oh man, we may actually have to do this. We may actually have to do this giveaway. Chat going to put me to task today? I think I need to end the stream early. I'm kidding. That was a joke. It was a joke. Not going to end the stream early. There's a ton of gig work out there. We've done streams before that talk about, how to use the gig, type of system. And so I think if you hit !gig, I think that bot command is still active. Hit !gig in chat. There are 2 websites out there that you can use to work remotely in a gig type fashion in cybersecurity that I do think will help you in gaining experience in the field by doing remote work in a gig type fashion. And again, I always go back to HackerOne, Bug Crowd, right? And encouraging you to get involved in those bug bounty type of organizations, because that is the type of stuff that is going to help you succeed in that space, right? This is an interesting question. How have we confirmed that we are in compliance with regular requirements in our industry? You wave a magic wand and you hope that you have some type of third party come in and tell you that you're in compliance. But listen, let's say it out loud. Let's all say it together. Compliance does not equal security. Let's all say it together. Compliance does not equal security, right? So while you may get a third-party validation that you are in compliance, that does not mean you are secure. Okay, we're going to gear up for the giveaway. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. And the reason I do that, right, is because I want to make sure everybody's in Discord. Make sure you're in Discord. Hit that !Discord. Make sure you are over in Discord, because what you're going to do is, you see Josh Mason in chat. You're going to message Josh Mason and he's going to be the recipient of this information when I announce the giveaway. Don't do it now. Don't message Josh Mason now. Don't hit exclamation point raffle now. Don't do any of that stuff now. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. I'm talking to you. Don't do it, okay? This is an opportunity. We're going to answer a couple more questions. This is an opportunity that if you're not in Discord, you can get into Discord. You can find Josh in general so that you know who to message when the time comes. But don't do it now. Now is not the time. Now is not the time, my friends. What's your advice for somebody who has general knowledge in IT and cybersecurity but hasn't chosen a field, especially in cybersecurity? As you know, cyber is a big subject. Thank you so much. This is a great question. This is why I encourage you to get your hands on things, both on the red side and on the blue side, so that as you're getting your hands on both the experiences, it'll help guide you, right? Now, purple teaming, this is why we provided resources for Attack IQ. Go hit exclamation point Attack IQ if you want to go get resources on things like purple teaming. GRC, go watch Jerry. Jerry does a ton of talks on GRC that I give him a lot of crap for, but he's super smart in this area, right? Septum, thank you so much for the membership. I truly appreciate it. You know, that's what I would encourage you to do is almost look at it as, right, you're interviewing those job roles and you're figuring out what makes those things awesome, so that you know which thread to pull on to be in this part of the career field that you want to be on. But if you're on the technical side, that's why I would encourage you to go get hands-on with some of these platforms that are out there. It's Owen says, is INE a platform like Try Hackman or Hack the Box, or is it specific to a certain field? INE is a company that has been doing networking training for 14 years. And they've made a lot of strategic acquisitions in the cybersecurity, data science, cloud, and some other spaces that, you know, that we've got upcoming here in the future. What I would tell you is that the platform that INE has built is unlike anything else because the content that it delivers for training is unlike anything else that you'll see out there. It is not death by PowerPoint, despite what we got from eLearn Security when we acquired it. We're in the process of revamping now. It's not death by PowerPoint. It's very much instructor-led. It's very much one of the best naturally based e-learning platforms that is instructor-led out there, meaning you're going to get an instructor, you're going to have hands-on. We do boot camps, and when I say boot camps, it's not the traditional way of you thinking about boot camps. It's the we'll pick a topic. Like Jason Alvarado just did incident handling in AWS, right? The point of that is to go learn incident handling in AWS, but that's your opportunity in that boot camp to talk to Jason, who wrote that course, who's an expert in that course, who's teaching you how to be an expert in that course, that you can talk to directly and ask your questions directly. We do the boot camps as your way to get access to the instructors that write the content that you're learning from. And I think that that's one of the huge differentiators in addition to the labs that are out there. Courtney says, have you heard of Minos Labs Cyber Acceleration Program? If so, what are your opinions about that program? I have not heard from that. Wow, the memberships keep coming through. Sam Anderson, thank you so very much for the membership. I do truly appreciate it. I've not heard of Cyber Labs Acceleration Program. If that's anything like some of these other boot camp programs that are out there where they say like, hey, come pay us $18,000 to $20,000 and we'll get you accelerated into cybersecurity and we'll half guarantee that you've got a job at the end of it, I would tell you to save your money and run the other direction. Let me say that again. I would say save your money and run the other direction. There is no company. Listen, when you look at most of these boot camp programs, when you look at most of these accelerators, you know what they're teaching you? They're teaching you the certifications. They're teaching you how to go past CEH. They're teaching you how to go past, SANS classes. They're not actually teaching you cybersecurity stuff. Amori, thank you so very much for becoming a member. I do appreciate it. Right? They're teaching you that type of stuff. Right? It is a waste of money. It is a waste of money, right? To go take those boot camps because and again, it's not every single one of them. Do your due diligence, right? Because I can't say that I've looked at every single solitary boot camp that's out there, but if they're teaching you a cert, why not just go learn the cert, right? If that's your goal. but they can't guarantee you a job. You realize that, right? They can't guarantee you a job. Listen, my CFO, the board, anybody that I've ever worked for at any point in time can come to me tomorrow and say, hey, Neil, you know that headcount that we were leaving open for a random person out there on the internet to apply for? We need that money. We need to take that headcount away. Right? You realize that. So no company can guarantee you that you're going to get a job at the end of it. That's the thing that I would encourage you. Okay, is to be very, very selective about how you spend your money when it comes to that stuff. Right? All right. Now it seems like we got a bunch of people who are hanging out in Discord. That's awesome. All right, so what we're going to do first is the first giveaway that we're going to run, and I'm going to go ahead and start it. Do not hit exclamation point raffle until Streamlabs comes through and tells you to hit exclamation point raffle. Okay, the first giveaway that we're going to do is we're going to pick two winners. We're going to pick two winners for 1 month Try Hack Me vouchers. That was for our normal cyber supply drop giveaway. Thanks to Josh Mason. We'll still have two more giveaways. We'll still have one more giveaway after that for hitting 100 members. We may still have a giveaway after that for hitting 125. We'll see how this goes. But this one is for the weekly resupply, care of Josh Mason and the cyber supply drop. I want to thank him for that, as always. This is another good question. Yuvraj, you've got a lot of good questions. Like you win the Fossochi Award for good questions coming out of this stream. Is rogue IT, unsanctioned device application use, a security threat here? And if so, what are we going to do to address the situation? It's not a security threat, right? Remember to use remember we look at words differently, right? We have risk and we have threat, right? We have vulnerability, right? Is rogue IT a security threat? No. No. Is it a security risk? Yes, it is a risk. Because if it's rogue IT that does not follow standards, if it is rogue IT that is not being monitored, if it is rogue IT that is not being managed, right? Those are the risks that it poses to our environment. And so let's make sure we're using the right language when it comes to this in terms of how we do it, okay? Do I think it's a risk? Yes. Do I think it's a threat? No. Two different things there. How do we address the situation? Asset inventory, standard processes. Fix that, okay? What's your advice? Oh, I think I already answered this one. This is why we don't ask questions more than once, because then you piss Neil off that he has to see it twice. Clear that one out. This is a good one. Here we go. Hi, Neil. Good morning. Good morning, Weird Fang. Everybody is entering the raffle for two. We're picking two winners for 1 month Try Hack Me vouchers. That is giveaway one of potentially three. Depends on if we hit 125 members or not. Good morning. For building purple team, what would you comment on organization that don't have proper red team, strong presence on blue team? Do they have to build proper red team first? No. No. And as a matter of fact, go watch the Carl stream last week that we had Carl right on from Attack IQ. And again, I would encourage you to go align yourself to Attack IQ because they are building an awesome, an awesome, amount of free training over there in their organization, right? Make sure you at them and tell them that Cyber Insecurity sent you, right? But if you go watch Carl's stream from last week, we asked them this specifically about how does somebody go about doing threat-informed defense and purple teaming in their organization when they have nothing. And it literally can start with one person. It can literally start with one person asking the right questions. And that's how you can start having purple teaming in your organization, right? So it is as easy as starting with one person, just doing the right things to be successful, okay? So that's what I would encourage you to do. The answer is no, you do not have to have a strong presence either way to start working on purple teaming or threat-informed defense. Mohammed, I recently got a cybersecurity specialist internship. Congratulations, glad to see that. Any advice to advance through my career? Stay hungry. Listen, I'll say it again. Stay hungry. As long as you're hungry, listen, hustle over here doesn't mean you don't sleep. Let me say it again. Hustle doesn't mean you don't sleep. Hustle means you stay hungry and you continue to push yourself in a healthy fashion to being an expert in your tradecraft. That's how you advance. If that's the mentality you have going into cyber, like let's have a reality check. How long do we have on this giveaway here? Oh, the timer ended. I'll say this and then we'll roll for the winners. Now's a great time to remind everybody, make sure you are in Discord. When I call your name, you're going to message Josh Mason to claim your vouchers. Let me say this, right? Some people come to this stream and they're like, Neil, you don't tell me how to write 0 days. Neil, you're an ex-NSA hacker. How do I write 0 days, right? Neil, how do I build C2 infrastructure like you had at the NSA? Neil, how come we're not watching you do try hack me rooms or hack the boxes, right? And things like that. That's not why you're here. That's not why you're here. You're here to get information that you can't get anywhere else on the internet, right? And so the information that you can't get, because you can find 1,000,001 people who are out there doing try hack me rooms. You can find 1,000,001 write-ups that are out there for try hack me rooms. I'm not going to regurgitate everybody else's work that's out there, right? You're here to learn what the advice is that you can't learn on a video. And that advice is, if you stay hungry, that will drive you to advance through your career. It will drive you to try hack me. It'll drive you to hack the box. It'll drive you to a room and try hack me that you can't solve. If you stay hungry, it will drive you to a room that you can't solve. What do you do then? It will drive you to figuring out how to solve that room, which will drive you to encouraging your research. It will drive you to improving your knowledge skid. It'll improve your research ability. It'll improve the skill sets that you get on keyboard, and it will make you smarter. That drive, that hustle, that is what's going to advance your career, not me teaching you how to write 0 days. Thank you, web community, for joining in as a member. Appreciate your support of the stream. Let's go ahead and roll for our 2 winners for 1 month Try Hack Me vouchers. Make sure you are ready to message Josh Mason in Discord to claim that. Winner number 1, Weird Fang. Fantastic. Congratulations, Weird Fang. Make sure you message Josh Mason. That is winner number 1. Winner number 2 is LeGrande Sleepy as winner number 2. Make sure you do message Josh Mason in chat. I'll let Josh tell me when we got confirmation on the winners, but congratulations. Everybody get a round of applause. You got about 2 or 3 minutes to message Josh before we re-roll. This is why it's important not to leave when we do giveaways. We have more giveaways to give away, and if these folks don't message Josh, then we will repick for their prizes. Let's see what else we got here. Not sure what we were talking about, but Joshua Alwyn, thank you so very much. This is actually insane and on point. That's what we strive for here on the stream, being insane hype and on point with our message. Thank you for tuning in. That's it. We have finished our tea for the morning. We are now resorting to ye old Nalgene bottle of water. Love it. Love it. Why is Security Blue Team mad for you? Curious. That's a fantastic question. I don't feel like they have enough content. I feel like they're too focused on their course material, and I don't feel like that they are moving the needle enough on their content. That's why I'm mad on them, right? When you look at cyberdefenders.org, they have content that you can go consume today, and it's not all, it's relatively free, right? Blue Team Labs Online, I think, is doing a really good job of being, kind of the try hack me of blue teams. That's why I'm a huge supporter of them. But I think I think if I had to rank them, that's why I would say Security Blue Team is kind of meh. I will add that if you go over to the content suggestions over on Discord. Okay, we got Weird Fang. Thank you so very much, Weird Fang, for responding immediately. Just waiting on Le Grande Sleepy to message Josh. Post that up in content suggestions if you want to see it. If there's a lot of likes and whatnot next to that comment inside of content suggestions on Discord, I may do an online platform review for the different blue team platforms. Let's see what else we got here. Subham says, "Hey Neil." CompTIA certs first or try hack the box after I finish my computer science degree. If I had to prioritize in that order, I would say do your try hack me and hack the box. In addition to your comp sci degree, like I would do those things together jointly. And I would only do CompTIA if you absolutely 100% have to. Absolutely have to. As you can tell, I'm not a fan of those either. Oh, thank you for the follow-on as well, Sub. I want to thank you for the contribution to the cybersecurity community, Neil. The value you provide is honestly priceless. Thank you very much. Honestly, that's why I do it, is for that right there. Just give me 1 second as I check my Slack messages, because I did get one. I just want to make sure that that's not my boss telling me to get the F off of. Interesting. No, don't have to run to work just yet. Don't have to run to work just yet. All right. Is Oracle certifications worth doing? It's free now when industry is moving towards AWS Azure. Yes. Listen. There's a couple different takes on this, right? It's free now should be the first thing that you see in this question, right? If it's free now, you should go do it. Right? If it's free now, you should go do it. Right? If anything, you're doing it because it adds knowledge to the knowledge base, right? Wouldn't you hate, listen, regret is a terrible thing. And let's put this in perspective. Wouldn't you hate that in a year or two, Oracle makes some amazing change, right? That, propels them in the market space, and you didn't take advantage of the free training. How upset would you be if that happened? Right? And so when you see that, right, when you think of it in that lens, that should tell you that if it's free now, knowing that it may not be free in the future, that should prioritize that training for you, right? Go get it, go knock it out, crush it out, have fun doing it, right? And add that one to the resume. Why is CompTIA, in your opinion, not that great? The problem that some of these, the problem that some of these certs have, and again, I have to be very careful because, I don't want to be, this is Neil Bridges' a personal opinion. This is not reflective of INE or INE's personal opinion. It is not reflective of my stance as Chief Content Officer at INE. This is Neil Bridges' personal opinion from 25 plus years in this cybersecurity space, having taken multiple certifications across multiple vendors. Okay? Personal opinion. I don't think a lot of these certifications have the ability to be agile enough to develop content to keep them relevant in the space. And I think that they're trying so hard to appeal to the broader market space for cash income on a business perspective than they are interested in your increasing knowledge level, right? And so it is for those reasons why I don't think that some of the content of some of these training vendors meets my standard, right? If I look at a resume, and this is how I look at it, if I look at a resume and I see CompTIA on a resume, I'm not going to go, wow, this dude or dudette knows exactly what it is that they're doing, right? Oh, they got Sec Plus. Oh yeah, I totally got to hire them, right? Oh, they got Pen Test Plus. They're going to be a rock star pen tester. I don't do that. I don't look at certs and say that. And I think that should say something. I think when you look at a hiring manager, and I think that's what should speak to you as a learner, right? What should speak to you as a learner is when a hiring manager looks at a cert, do they go, okay, I know they've been through hell to get that cert, okay? And so when you look at that, it shouldn't be about, well, CompTIA gets me past HR, CompTIA gets me past the recruiters, right? Because then you're not learning anything. And if you're not learning anything and you want to spend like $1,500, how about you just give $1,500 to me, right? If you're just interested in not learning anything, because most of the stuff that you can find from these certs is freaking out there on the internet, right? It's not rocket science, right? It's not magic sauce, right? And so like that's where I think your mentality, that's what I think everybody's mentality should be when they're looking at this stuff, right? Is you know, are you actually going to learn anything, right? Is it actually going to fill a knowledge gap for you? And if that hiring manager understands that cert, and if that hiring manager understands the knowledge that it took you to achieve that cert, are they going to look at you and be like, that person put in the work, right? That person put in the work, right? Not, is this going to get me past the gatekeeper? This one, blazing up. I think it's a nice starting point, but from what I've heard, after you get the cert, it doesn't mean that you get the job correctly. That is correct. This is why I tell you to go do the hands-on stuff. Josh, hashtag worst mod, where are we at with that other winner so we can move on? Hashtag worst mod, where are you at? Hashtag worst mod. Hashtag worst mod. That's why I encourage all of you to get the hands-on, right? Because listen, I have seen it. Maybe there's some people here in the community who have seen it as well, right? Where you get past the gatekeepers, but you lose out on the interview. Why? Because they asked you a question that you couldn't get because you didn't have the hands-on experience, because you hadn't been to Try Hack, because you hadn't done Try Hack the Box, because you hadn't done Capture the Flags, right? But you did Pen Test Plus, and you were like, oh, I did Pen Test Plus, I'm ready for a pen tester role, right? But then you get to that job interview and you've got nothing, which is why every INE cert will have hands-on so that you are prepared for when you get there. Heard that we got the last Try Hack Me giveaway winner. Thank you so much for being responsive in chat for that. Now's a reminder to remind everybody to get into Discord so that you can message Josh Mason. We're going to give away, I saw somebody ask for it. I'm trying to figure out which keyboard I'm on. Which keyboard am I on? Saw somebody ask for it. For the 100 member giveaway, I saw somebody ask for it, so we'll put that one in there. We're going to give away an eJPT voucher. We're going to give away an eJPT voucher. We're going to hold off before we start that giveaway. We'll give it a little bit of a break. We are going to give away an eJPT voucher for hitting 100 members. We're 10 away from an INE premium sub, but we will give away an eJPT voucher here for the next giveaway. I'll give a minute for everybody to... We'll make this giveaway... this will come out of the cyber insecurity, just pool of things. This is, this is where all the proceeds, when we talk about our partners, I want to thank all of our partners, right? Elastic, Query.ai, VMware Carbon Black, Battleship Security, Attack IQ, Josh Mason Cyber Supply Drop, At Root Beverages, all of those organizations, they either provide content or they provide training, they provide something free, or they directly contribute to giveaways, right? They directly contribute to giveaways, right? And so it is because of partners that we are able to give away so much. And so my ask is that you hit those exclamation point partners, right? You find out who those partners are, and you go at them, you go say thank you. DevNull with the super chat, #worstmod. You go thank our partners because they provide prizes and discounts for you. Okay, so we'll give away an eJPT. We'll make that one as part of our partner, giveaway, and we will do that one. All right, let's see what kind of questions we got here. Let's see what we got here. This is a good one. Command and control. Thank you so much for this question. What has been your favorite role in your career and why? It's hard to say. And I'm happy to talk about any of my career roles that I've ever had. Feel free to go to my LinkedIn and be like, Neil, what was your favorite part of this job? What was your favorite part of this company? What was your favorite part of this, right? Happy to talk about any of that stuff, right? My favorite across my entire career, here was my most fun. So take a look at this flag right here. This one right over my head, if you can see it. Can I tilt the camera? I'm gonna screw up my setup right here. Watch this. I'm gonna screw up my setup right here. It says OP4, opposing forces. There we go. We raise the camera up a little bit. I knew I was gonna do it. I knew I was gonna screw it up. It says opposing forces, OP4. Right? In the military, right? When I got to my first duty station, my first duty station was in South Korea. And I was attached to a military intelligence battalion, right? As an Air Force, I was attached to an Army military intelligence battalion down in South Korea. We were spying on North Korea. Like, I'll just tell you how it is. Like, we were flying spy planes out of there, spying on North Korea all the time. We were doing signals intelligence out of North Korea. This was how I got into red teaming. That's how I'll say this. This is how I got into red teaming, right? I found out that they had this team called OP4, opposing forces. And what you were able to do was you had to try out for the team. It was like a sports tryout. And they ran around pretending to be bad guys. In this case, because it was Korea, we pretended to be North Koreans. And so we had black uniforms with red lettering, very similar like this. You can't really see it, but there's like a little logo right here. That was the logo, the patch that we wore on our arms. We had nicknames and code names. And you've got M16s and you've got blank ammunition, and you block the end of the barrel to create the pressure that you need to for the blank ammunition, so you can actually shoot the gun and you get gunshot sounds, and you'd have a laser at the end of it that would shoot lasers. Think of like high-tech military laser tag, right? It was called Miles Gear, MILES, if you want to look it up. It was made by Raytheon at the time, right? So it was like very sophisticated, very, very sophisticated laser tag, right? And so very fun stuff. Super fun stuff. And so like we had a team. It was called the OP4 team, and we were the only OP4 team on the entire peninsula, on the entire South Korea peninsula. And so we were requested by name for every exercise that was at Osan Air Base. We were requested, to go do exercises all over the peninsula. And I could tell you that, like, when I talk about exercises, the coolest one that we ever did was for one of the biggest exercises that Osan Air Base does, where they're legitimately simulating wartime against North Korea. We were all dressed up in black. We had M4s with all of our tactical sights on it and everything. And they took us about 1.5 miles outside the base into the actual city that surrounds Osan Air Base. They dropped us off, and we crawled. Sometimes it was physically crawled, but it was mostly just like being all stealthy through the city, avoiding people, avoiding local law enforcement, avoiding everybody, crawling through benjo ditches. We got to the edge of the fence wire on the north side of Osan Air Base, and we were literally low crawling along the fence line at Osan Air Base, and we had found where a dog had dug a hole on the north side of Osan Air Base to sneak into the airbase. And base maintenance, in their infinite number of wisdom, right, decided that they were going to take a piece of plywood and stick it in that hole to prevent the dogs from coming in through that hole in the wire. Well, we took that piece of plywood, we pulled it out of the hole, we broke it in half, and we basically created like a shovel with it, and we dug out that hole underneath the fence wire at Osan Air Base, and we crawled underneath it, and we attacked one of the surface-to-air missile batteries that we had access to, at the north side of Osan Air Base, which was something that hadn't been done before at Osan. We were one of the only units that had done that, and before we got lit up, for base response that had come in and responded to the activity. But that's what got me hooked. When I say base response, I didn't know that they had Miles gear, that they had laser tag for the 50 cals that they'd put on the top of Humvees. And so, boy, this Humvee comes rolling around, and I'm looking at this Humvee like freaking 50 yards from me, 100 yards from me, something like that. It's 50 yards from me. And I see this 10-foot wide blast circle come at my face, and my Miles gear lights up. And I got to see, folks, let me tell you something. I got to see what it was like to be on the receiving end of a Humvee mounted 50 cal. And I knew it was blanks, and I still almost shit my britches. Whoops. It was that scary. It was that scary. But that right there is what got me hooked on red teaming, right? That's what got me hooked on doing physical penetration testing, because that wasn't the only one that we'd done. We'd done several of those. That's why when people ask me like how do you prepare for physical pen testing and things like that? Like I've had my face down on concrete with security forces knee in my neck with a loaded M16 pointed at my head. And so like lying to the secretary to break into an organization is literally like nothing for me. So as you can tell, I love that story. That is one of my favorite stories to tell. Happy to tell more stories. I love doing the war stories. But with that, we'll go back over here. We're going to do a giveaway for an eJPT voucher. Make sure you are in Discord. You can message Josh Mason for this one. Josh is going to continue to be my giveaway dude for this. But we're going to go ahead and start the giveaway for an eJPT voucher, care of the cyber insecurity partners that are out there. Let's see what we got here. This is a good one. Is JavaScript worth learning to be a better bug bounty hunter? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Easy question. Go forth and conquer. Go look at that. Go look at that lab platform we just linked this morning. Exercism. Good place to go learn programming. That kind of goes in line with this question from Monish. I want to get into IT and I also love coding. Can you suggest something which I can do coding as well as pen tests? Go practice coding on Exorcism and then find problems that you want to solve. Once you find problems you want to solve, code them up and solve them. As a developer and data analyst, what role might be the best fit in cybersecurity? Listen, SOC analyst, threat hunting specifically is very much about data analytics, right? When you think about incident response, right? Incident response is you get an alert, you get an indicator, you respond to an incident, right? Easy peasy. When you think about threat hunting, it's about behavioral analysis. It's about looking at analytics. It's about looking for trends and things like that, and then applying those trends, forward to look for the bad guy. And so what I'd say is if you're a developer and a data analyst and you're looking to utilize those skills, I would say threat intelligence, threat hunting, any of those types of data analysis skills, that would be where I would tell you to move into Chris Nelson. This is a good one. What are positions for beginner blue teamer, SOC analyst, and incident response analyst? Those two. Those are the two best ones for that one. Good question here. What's the minimum requirements to start a career as a threat hunter? Someone give me an offer to start as a SOC analyst. One, is that right for me despite I have experience as pen tester? Yes. I think it's okay for you to go from pen tester to SOC analyst to threat hunter. That gets my seal of approval. I think you'll have a harder time going from pen tester to threat hunter. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's a harder transition. But I do think going from pen tester to SOC analyst to threat hunter, if that's where your goal is, I absolutely think that that is completely and totally doable. Should you follow up a second time? I sent a thank you note, but should I send a follow-up? Interview ended with a CISO wanting to get the salary request approved, but I hadn't heard a response yet. Yes. You respond, Tom, until they tell you to go away. You respond until they tell you stop messaging us, right? Remember when we talk about that drive, we talk about you being hungry, right? That comes through when you're like, hey, I want to follow up. Hey, is there anything else you need from me? Hey, I want to make sure that I didn't miss an email, right? Those are all passive aggressive ways that you follow up to say, I'm still interested. I refuse to believe that you are so scummy that you won't message me back and tell me whether I got the job or not, right? Don't let companies ghost you, right? Don't let companies ghost you. I know it's a thing now and I hate it. Be assertive. Daedry talked about that. If you go look at last Monday's stream where we had Daedry on, she talked about that as well. Don't let companies ghost you. Good morning, Neil. Do you think is a starting age for CISOs? What do you think is a starting age for CISOs and upper management cyber? I don't believe in ageism. Like, you'll never get me into the band camp that says you're too old for cyber, right? You will absolutely never see me in the camp that says that you're too old for cyber. And so, if you have the requisite experience, if you have the experience to go into an organization and be able to accurately provide cybersecurity advice and experience at the strategic level and talk business, man, if you can do that at 17, I want to interview you on stream, right? I want to interview you on stream, right? If you can do it at 70, I want to interview you on stream. It doesn't matter, right? There is no sense of ageism in cybersecurity. So go out there and crush it. Any Splunk training coming to I&E? I'm working on something. This is Neil's brain going, can I talk about this? Soon. Give the Blizzard answer soon. Hey, Neil, can you talk a little bit about Zero Trust? No. No. Somebody drop a smooth brain gif. It is a fallacy. It is a research paper. No. All right. Looks like the raffle's closed. We're gonna pick a winner for this eJPT voucher. Remember to message Josh Mason immediately when I call your name, and we will get you put in for an eJPT voucher today. Winner is Joey King. Congratulations on your eJPT voucher. Please message Josh Mason in Discord. Make sure you provide your name and your email address so that we can get that tagged to your I&E account. Listen, let me preface something, because this has happened now twice. This has happened twice in the last couple I&E giveaways. If you know that we're doing an I&E giveaway, please make sure you have an I&E account. When I sent in the email for those 5 winners from David's stream last week, 2 of them didn't have I&E profiles set up. If you're going, please do me a solid. Do me a solid. Do you a solid so we don't have to do the back and forth. If you're going to hop into an I&E giveaway, make sure you got an I&E account set up. Please. Joey King, thank you so much for being responsive to Josh Mason in Discord. I do truly appreciate it. Here's what I'll tell you. We are coming up on, we've been at stream now for 2 hours. I'll give it 30 more minutes. 30 more minutes. We'll see if we can get 10 more members on. If we get to 125 members, we will do an INE Premium giveaway. I'll answer a couple more questions. I may do less than 30 minutes. It may be like the Neutron 30 minutes where it's like, you know, we may whittle this down. I'm down to, we've managed to narrow it down to 2 pages of questions. We'll see how quickly we can make it through these 2 pages of questions. Any plans to have cyber architecture content on INE or telco security? Yes, there is actually cyber architecture content now. There is a career path that is being developed for security architecture. Absolutely, 100%. We actually have some engineering and ops content on there. What about an eJPT voucher? Thank you. We did that. Where can I get INE training for my business? Reach out to the INE team. You should be able to do support@INE.com. They should be able to put you in touch with the sales team to get it for your business. Are industry memberships advantageous, such as with ACS? And if so, what are some benefits? So this gets into like folks who are here in the States with like ISACA and things like that. I personally have never, ever, ever been part of those types of organizations. So I can't really speak to the benefits. Mileage may vary. Mileage may vary. Kaven says, what's your next move after eJPT? Thanks for the answer. Thank you so very much for asking your question only once. After eJPT, if you're going to stay on the pen testing path, you do pen testing professional, which is PTP. That's the eCPPT cert. Then you do pen testing extreme. Then you do exploit development after that. How can I start a cybersecurity company? Figure out how to start a company in your local, country and start it, right? But listen, hold on. Let's. I've seen this question before, right? And I'm curious about this, right? Some people have said, I've literally had people show up in my DMs. I've had people show up in my DMs that says, Neil, I'm new to cyber and I want to start my own cybersecurity pen testing company. Think about this from the business perspective. Are you going to go to a business and say, I want to pen test your company, and I've only been doing it for a month? Right? Think about it from the business's perspective, right? That's a hard conversation to have with a business, right? That's a hard conversation to have with a business, right? And so if you're going to start a cybersecurity company, what is it that you're bringing to the table that makes you marketable and gives you a marketing edge as a cybersecurity company in your space, right? And so, like, I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm not trying to dissuade you from starting your own cybersecurity company, but don't think that just because you start a cybersecurity company that you're going to have companies flocking to your doorstep and being like, come pen test my stuff, right? It doesn't work that easily, right? And so how do you start it? If you're in the US, go out and register for a company. Enjoy the benefits of trying to market your company. Lord knows I can tell you, after having been in this for 4 years now, right? It's a lot harder than people make it out to be. It's not that easy, right? Not that easy. Melis, I've seen you in chat several times, Melis. I'm so glad to always see you in chat. Not enough people out there telling people the truth about getting into the industry like yourself, Neil. I love your take the free stuff first mentality. So many people just use streams to push sales. Not my goal. My goal is to have real conversations with real people. That is why we are here. Listen, let's take a minute, right? Let's take a minute. Let's talk about the ethos of this stream. Right? Let's have a serious conversation. Like I'm gonna come off a hype Neil train and I'm gonna speak very, very softly and sensitively about this. No, screw that. We're talking about hype, right? Listen. Listen, I've said it before. There's so much free stuff out there. Please don't pay for things. Please don't pay for things until you're ready, right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you all. This is why, like, if you look at the post that I made yesterday, and again, I applaud David for reaching out to me, right? When I see dollar figures attached to something, I want you to get value out of it, right? That's why when you look at the memberships, right, of this stream, we sat down as a team. The mod team sat down and we looked at the year's worth of streams that we did. We said, how do we give the community value? We're not going to stop giving free information. We're not going to stop doing resume reviews. We're not going to stop doing all this stuff, but how do we give the community more value? And that's what we did. And that's very much the value and the ethos that I put into the content that I produce is, I'm going to sit on this stream. I'm going to tell you free stuff. You want to learn how to do stuff? I'm going to teach you how to do it for free. Right? There's so much free stuff that's out there. I am so jealous of the learner these days because of how much free stuff is out there. The purpose of this stream is to make sure you're aware of all of the free things that you can take advantage of before you spend a dime. Right? Take advantage of the free stuff before you spend a dime. Right? That's why we bring expert guests. That's why we stream a wide range of content, right? Those of you who are like, Neil, why don't you sit there and do try hack me and hack the boxes all day long? Because cybersecurity is so much more than that. Right? The people down here who are like, Neil, how do I know where to get started? Right? That's why we stream the wide range of content that we do, right? You may be like, Neil, I'm never going to be a CISO. Why do I care about hearing from a CISO? Right? That may not be the content for you, and that's okay. Because there are a dozen, hundreds of other people out there that content is for, and they'll benefit from it. Right? We're here to make sure that you understand all aspects of cybersecurity. Small touching of the heart. Like, thank you so much, Melis. I appreciate you recognizing what it is that we do here. Stuns and Roses, our resident rock star. How does it feel knowing defeat by the hands of the mighty BSEC is imminent? Well, I can tell that you're trying to play the psychological warfare operation game. What you don't get is that BSEC is on the ropes. He's getting clobbered. That's why you saw him on the treadmill during the stream, because he knows that he's getting whooped up on. I got this. Having not looked at cyber in many years, is the pen test course on INE all I will need to head for the eJPT? Is there some more basics I should look at first? I think the eJPT has, the pen testing student course, I think that has everything that you need to pass eJPT, but I'd still recommend that you do the hands-on, because it doesn't hurt to, over prepare for an exam. Hater, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do truly appreciate it. Ali would act like he was tired, then come back out sleeping. Yeah, but if you've seen BSEC, you know he's not Ali. I'd rather do the Mike Tyson thing and bite off the ear. Le Sleepy Grande says, Neil, if me and a couple of my friends with lots of experience in Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, Range Force, but little to no certs, wanted to start a pen testing consultancy, what would be our best bets? Tom Pike, I want to say thank you so very much for upgrading to basic mentorship. Make sure you utilize that Discord channel and drop your resume and LinkedIn there so that you can get your personalized, for you only, your personalized LinkedIn and resume review. Again, when you talk about doing your own pen testing consultancy, you have to think about the value that you provide, and that's what you have to worry about when you're looking to position yourself as a market differentiator in the pen testing space. There are tons of pen testing companies out there, right? And so you've got to think about what differentiates you. Is it going to be cost? Is it skill? Is it speed? You have to think about differentiators. Thank you, Dylan, so much for joining in as a member. 7 more 7 more, and we will give away an INE Premium Pass. Just saw this one. Where can I get OTICS training and not spend $7,000 for SANS? This is a question that pains me, Justin. This is why I pushed this one kind of first, right? There isn't a lot of good industrial control system and OT training that is out there, right? And that pains me to say. There needs to be more of this. There needs to be more of this. If anybody's looking for a gap filler, this is your gap filler right there. We need more of this. We want more. We need more. Is learning Android development helpful for cybersecurity in any way? I mean, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't go out there to try to be the premier Android developer out in the cybersecurity space. I don't see a whole lot of need for that. But it doesn't hurt. Weird Fang bringing us over to the 120 marker. 5 more to go. 5 more to go. Have we allocated enough resources to properly address the most significant cybersecurity threats? What specifically have we done? No, we have not. Cybersecurity threats will continue to increase, and we have not done enough. And I would venture to say, in a slightly cynical type fashion, we will never, ever be able to do enough. TN template with the membership, bringing us one closer. I answered that one already. This one, I'll send this one up. This is a good question, just because I do see this one. Should I go for eJPT now or after the update? Listen, there is no time like the present, right? I know what you're asking here, right? What you're asking is, will I learn more now or will I learn more later, right? Is the cert more meaningful now or is the cert more meaningful later, right? If you have a desire for eJPT now and you are getting value out of the content now and you take the cert now, that knowledge doesn't go away, right? And if you have a need and a desire and you feel like you're at that spot from a milestone perspective right now, I think you should absolutely go do it right now. Do I think you should also do it later? Yeah, because those guys, Josh and Alexis, are putting a crap ton of awesomeness into the new PTS. That's the benefit of being on the platform. Hold on. Let's talk about the benefit of being on the platform, right? You can go take PTS now, and then while you're on the platform, you can go take PTS afterwards. And you can go take eJPT now, and you can go take eJPT afterwards. You don't have to take eJPT, but you can still learn the content in both of them, and you still got your cert. Listen, I've got 2 SANS certs over here, right? And I'm sure if I were to go pull the dates on those SANS certs, those are like 2010, 2011, 2012 type of certs, right? Did my knowledge go away? Do I feel the need to go learn the latest and greatest GCIH, GPen, GXPN material? No, I don't. I don't feel the need for that. Do I feel like I still know it? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think that this question is the right question to ask when it comes to like how you look at eJPT now versus after the update. You should just look at it like collecting a trophy, right? Do the content, get the knowledge, collect the trophy, update comes out, go do the content, decide if you want to collect the trophy when you get to the end of it, and go collect the trophy. That's how I feel about it. I love this question too, right? Let's talk about this question. Melis, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do truly appreciate your membership so very much. When do you call again, more serious conversation, right? When do you call yourself a cybersecurity expert? Do you know that I don't call myself a cybersecurity expert? I just refer to how long I've been in this space, right? And I let the industry decide whether I'm an expert or not. And if the industry comes to us and says, Neil, you're a fake, you're a phony, right? Then that's the industry's opinion of me, right? I think you waiting for your own milestone to call yourself and here's what I don't want people to hear. I don't want people to hear, well, Neil, you're letting other people determine your fate. No, I'm not. Right? Because it's not going to affect my self-esteem if y'all call me a phony. Like, I'll be like, well, maybe I should look at myself. Maybe I should self-evaluate. Maybe I should really reflect on myself, right? But what I'll tell you is that, like, if you're waiting on yourself, if you're waiting on your own internal checklist to call yourself an expert, right? If you're trying to write your own model for what an expert is, you will always defeat yourself with imposter syndrome. You will always defeat yourself. You will never live up to your own expectations. I don't. I'll tell you that right now. I tell you that my biggest reasons for burnout are because of the pressures I put on myself to be awesome. Right? Where's Amoeba at? Ask Josh, right? Ask Josh about this. I booked up our schedule for interviews last week, the last week of October, pushing myself to do awesome content on YouTube. And that is what led to my burnout. Josh didn't do it. Carmen didn't do it. Partners didn't do it. These interviewees didn't do it. I did it to myself because my expectations were higher. And so when you say, when do you call yourself a cybersecurity expert? My expectation of myself is so much higher that I will absolutely not be calling myself an expert anytime soon. But I think you all are experts when you decide to have that self-awareness and join in on the struggle that we have in fighting cyber crime. All right. How do you not feel like the goal is always out of reach when things like this Twitch breach happens? This is my YouTube alias. I love that nickname. That's a good one. I appreciate it. That's the other side of that coin, right? That's the other side of that coin, right? Breaches will happen. That's why we talk about, right? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? And so, you have to realize that we're never going to reach a day and an era, right? We're never going to reach a day in an era where we're not hearing about some type of cyber attack, some cyber something that's out there in the space. And I think that that's good for us, right? The adversary never sleeps. Listen, this fallacy that we have of beating the enemy, right? We're never going to beat the enemy. We're never going to beat the enemy. Let me say that one last time. We're never going to beat the enemy. And so what I would say is, if you're waiting for a goal of 0 breaches, you're waiting for the wrong goal, right? You shouldn't be waiting for a goal of 0 breaches. You should be striving for a goal of how do we respond faster? How do we build better resiliency? How do we build better business practices? How do we just get better at blocking and tackling? How do we just get better about patching our systems, right? And you may not like this, right? This may be a hard conversation. Like, this is cyber truce right now, right? This is cyber truce right now. There isn't a day where we will sit there and say, God, do you remember when we used to get breached all the time? No, that day isn't coming. That day is not coming. I see we're at 122. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for your membership. I'm going to prep myself. I'm going to prep Streamlabs for this because we might actually make this. Any premium sub. I'm prepping Streamlabs. I didn't think we'd actually get there, but we're 3 away. We may actually get there. I need premium sub giveaway. All right, Streamlabs is prepped. We've got 10 minutes. And then I got to run to a meeting myself. Love your content, Neil, on mental and physical, mental health and fitness, Neil. I'm going through some moments right now. It helps a lot. Listen, if you're going through moments, make sure you're in Discord. We have 2 channels, right? I mentioned imposter syndrome. Make sure that you share your story and go read the stories that other people have shared regarding imposter syndrome in Discord, right? There's also another channel for mental health called You Are Not Alone, because we take mental health seriously on this stream. And so, share your story. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your story, go read other people's stories so that you realize you're not alone and you're not the only one dealing with it. Join us on Healthy Hackers, right? Join us on Healthy Hackers. Tune in on Monday as we talk about fitness and healthy lifestyles and things like that, as well as having Alyssa Knight on stream. Don't forget, that's right. Huge stream on Monday. Don't forget that. We've got Alyssa Knight, ex-arrested hacker, sits on tons of advisory boards, tons of research in car hacking and API hacking, coming in on the stream on Monday. And of course, we're going to talk about how BSEC is dying from from the competition. So, we'll talk about that one as well. How to get started in dark web analysis? I mean, go download Tor and start poking around on the darknet. I mean, go do trace labs. Like if you're people talk about dark web analysis, like listen, oh my God, that is the most underwhelming part of cybersecurity. Ooh, cyber secrets, dark web analysis, right? Like there's just, I mean, it's just not like you get, here's what dark web analysis here's what dark web analysis looks like, right? There is either bogus content, scams out there, right? Where people are trying to scam you out of money. There are cybercrime forums that are completely and totally open, which if they're open to you, guess who else they're open to? That's right. You know what I'm talking about, right? So like how much actionable intelligence are you actually going to get from some of these open forums, right? That's going to make you that much. And then you've got the closed forums, right? Where you actually have to do illegal stuff to get onto those closed forums, which we're not here to discuss any of that stuff right there, right? And then you've got the super, super elite ones where it's like invite only and like only a handful of people know the onion address and things like that, which, if you're on this stream, you're probably, you're probably a long way away from kind of being in that circle anyway, right? No offense to anybody here. It's just, that's probably the case, right? And so like, you just have to be really realistic with yourself, right? In terms of what it is your goals and objectives are when doing this, right? But start poking around on go download Tor and start poking around on the darknet. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Christopher Johnson says the point of the cert is to validate your knowledge. I don't disagree, sort of, kind of. I don't disagree, sort of, kind of. My take on certs is that they're trophies. I don't think certs validate your knowledge. Listen, you're talking to the dude who was student number 350 out of a 354 person class in high school. You know why? Because I couldn't do homework and I couldn't take a test. I couldn't do homework and I couldn't take a test. Does that mean that I didn't gain the knowledge? Does that mean that I don't have a way to validate that knowledge because I couldn't take a test? Right? You know that I didn't go to college, don't have a degree. The only reason that I passed these SAN certs is because they're open book and I know how to go find information in an index. Right? Let me tell you something. Here's a Neil secret. You know, I failed my first Network Plus. I had already been in IT for 7 years before I took Network Plus. I had my CCNA before I took my Net Plus. and I failed my Net Plus. Right? I failed my Net Plus the first time I took it. Right? I don't think that certs... Eli Shaw, thank you so much for becoming a member. Does that make us 2 or 1 away? I can't tell. I'll wait for the counter to update. I see 2 away. I'll see 2 away. I don't think that certs... I don't think testing validates knowledge. I think that doing... It's 1 away. Oh my God, we're 1 away. We need 1 member. We need 1 member. We're giving away an INE premium sub. 1 member. We're giving away an INE premium sub. Just 1. Right? I don't think certs validate knowledge. I think certs give you a trophy that says that you did your job. I just saw the thing bounce out of the cup. I just saw it bounce out of the cup. Oh my God, it bounced out of the cup. I just saw the little thingy bounce out of the cup. 125. There it is, as promised. Wait for Streamlabs to tell you inside a chat. I'm so glad I prepped this one. Wait for Streamlabs to tell you. We'll give away an INE premium sub to 1 lucky viewer. Thank you for supporting the stream the way that you do with your memberships. Listen, about memberships, if you signed up as Prime, make sure you drop your resume in the resume channel and tune in to the live stream that is scheduled for the end of the month for your resume review. If you signed up as mentorship, get your LinkedIn, your resume in the channel, and you get a personalized. You get a completely dedicated video section of YouTube. You actually should start to see that in your YouTube section now. You can start to see the other personalized resume review videos that I did for other people who have that mentorship tier. You get to get a personalized resume and LinkedIn review done by yours truly and done in video format. That allows us to collaborate on that. So, that's my take on certs. I try not to get soapboxy about certs because I know certs mean different things to different people. This is very much like that degree conversation, right? Where it's like, you know, everybody has different reasons for doing certs. I don't think you should chase certs. Let me say that again. I don't think you should chase certs. I think you should chase knowledge, right? If you go take a class, you gained knowledge, right? There's a motivational speaker that I listen to. We'll talk about this, right? There's a motivational speaker that I listen to. You know, if you go to class and you fail that class, that doesn't mean you didn't gain knowledge. Let me say that again. If you go to class, you fail the class, that doesn't mean you didn't gain knowledge. That means you failed the test. Look at knowledge like a fuel bar. Right? Or if you're a video game buff, look at knowledge like a life bar, right? I just want to say, we've lost 30 concurrent viewers since we did the last Try Hack Me giveaway. Those were the people that didn't believe you all could get us there. There's 30 people right now who are going to be really, really mad when they watch this VOD that they didn't stay to get entered into this INE giveaway. That's why you stay till the whole stream is over. That's why you stay till the whole stream is over. Look at knowledge like a fuel bar, right? If you go to a class and you take a class, but you only fill the knowledge up halfway, and then you fail the test, that halfway of knowledge doesn't go away. You still gained that knowledge. Now, you may need to gain the other 50% of that knowledge to pass the test, but you still gained knowledge. And I don't think that we should devalue the gaining of that knowledge by saying that your knowledge is only validated by obtaining a cert. Let me say that again. We shouldn't devalue knowledge by saying that it's only validated through the acquisition of a cert. That's my stance on certifications. Just to kind of throw that one out there. Are you answering questions for members only or anyone? Anyone. Anybody can ask a question. Anybody can ask a question. We want questions to be open to everybody. Answered this one already. Are there any age limits to working in cybersecurity? The answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you have a master list of free stuff for people to learn from? I appreciate all you doing. I'm trying to do a video on this so that it's consolidated into this. Not currently, but stay tuned. I'm starting to do more and more dedicated content. That will be one of those dedicated content types of things. If you already have stuff for the platform and win the giveaway, does that tack on to your current sub? No. No, unfortunately not. What's your opinion on secure email? Is that an oxymoron? Is it still the biggest vulnerability after building out the best security architecture? Good question, Will Bryan. Clark Patrick, thank you so very much for the super chat. I'll answer that question here after I answer this one. I just now saw the super chat. I'll answer that one here in a second. What's your opinion on secure email? Is that an oxymoron? I think email is still a vulnerability, but email is a vulnerability because users are prone to being compromised via email. So I think that it's still social engineering is that vulnerability about email, but I don't think secure email helps with social engineering. We fail to do things like certificate authorities. We fail to do even something like SMIME signing right on email. We fail to do things like having a proper DMARC or SPF records on a lot of organizations. You wouldn't believe the amount of organizations that I freaking see that don't have DMARC and SPF done correctly, right? And so, like, I think that that stuff is important, but I don't think that that stuff leads directly to hacks. I think what leads directly to hacks are people who fail the social engineering test, right? Which is very easy to do. I don't mean that from a derogatory sense. I just know that, like, social engineering still happens. So the super chat question from Clark Patrick says, why is INE better than IT Pro TV? I don't think it's fair for me to directly compare INE to IT Pro TV, so I won't. What I will say is that I had an opportunity, like I was a SANS instructor for 5 years, for those who didn't know it, right? I was a SANS instructor for 5 years. I taught, GPEN, GCIH, GXPN, right? For SANS. SANS and I had a conversation before I joined INE, entertaining the opportunity of me going back to SANS. There were lots of roads that I could have gone down. I was in talks with a couple other organizations as well about joining, their organization. And what I can tell you is that INE won out, right? The organization, the culture, the platform they're building, the vision that they have for content, all of that was why I chose INE over a lot of other organizations. And so what I'd rather do is I'd rather let my reputation speak for itself and say that I had choices, I had options, and I chose INE, right? And I'm glad that I did. You can see the type of team that we're building out over there. You can see the vision that we've got with Richard as a CEO. You can see that we've got a high-performing CMO like we do with Scott Cedarbaum over there. You see the AWS content that we're putting out with guys like Brooks, right? We're dumping money into acquisitions. We're going to be acquiring some awesome stuff here in the future. And I couldn't be more excited to be there. And so what I'd say is that, like, I'm not going to compare INE to anything else, but what I'll do is I'll let my reputation speak for itself. I'll let my history speak for itself. I built the first functional training unit at the Air Force doing offensive hacking. I trained, at least to my knowledge, what is currently the offensive security workforce that exists inside of the 315th, or what was formerly the 315th and the 91st, there now. Folks like Josh Mason have been through my training, that I did there. I was a SANS instructor for 5 years, and I chose to come to INE. And so with that being said, we'll go ahead and pick our winner. This is for an INE premium sub. Make sure you are in Discord. You are ready to message Josh Mason with your name and your email address. X Terminator is our winner of the INE premium sub. Make sure that you message Josh Mason. I'll take one or two more questions before we wrap up. I'm a little over. I'm just going to have to be late to my meeting. Let's see what else we got here. Are you familiar with Red Team Alliance's physical pen testing courses? Are they recognized in the industry for teaching pack cards, system hacks, bypasses, lockpicking, etc.? I've not heard of them. I'll add that to the research list and take a look at their stuff. I think it's interesting that people have like a pretty dedicated physical pen testing course. It is one of the harder things to teach that's out there. And so I'll add that to the list of things to research, and I will report back when I have some data points to report on. And Josh has Exterminator. Thank you. Wow. Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot with getting that. So thank you so very much for being prompt with that one. Listen, I'm over time. Welcome to a special 2.5-hour stream. Hopefully that's longer than our weekly streams. You guys realize that? That's longer than our weekly streams are, right? 2.5 hours. That's appreciation from me to you all for giving me and Carmen the streamcation that we needed by not streaming Monday and Wednesday of this week. I promise you that we'll be back to it next week. Monday, we've got a super awesome guest. Alyssa Knight is going to be on Monday night. Super excited to have Alyssa Knight on the stream. Congratulations to all of our winners today. God, I love this community so much. I'm so grateful every single solitary day to be around, all of you awesome folks. I'm so excited to see what each and every single one of you do in this cybersecurity space. I have nothing but love and admiration for all the awesome stuff that you all are going to do. Thank you so much to all the new members. Make sure you take advantage of those member perks, right? Make sure you take advantage of those member perks. They are there for you, and we did put a lot of thought and effort into making sure that they were beneficial for you. Listen to me. Whether you're on the red side, whether you're on the blue side, no sidelines around here. Whether you're still deciding, keep learning, and I'll see y'all on Monday.